I'm Julia. I am a psychologist, and I lived here behind the wall at the Esso Hause for 7 years, I think. And I'm connected to the GWA through their work with the Esso Hause inhabitants. They supported us in our fight for our rights to live here. I lived in this bar, in the front bar. Yeah, and I lived on the last floor and had a beautiful view on the harbor, and it was really, really nice. Yeah. This building belonged to a family, to family Schütze. And family Schütze decided at one point they want to sell it. And they sold it to the Bayerische Hausbau. And the Bayerische Hausbau decided to get rid of all their Mieter, all of their inhabitants of the building. And they sent us new contracts for our flats, which they told us to sign. And these contracts would, of course, be worse than our old contract, and they would also get rid of us very easily if we would sign them. And I think they also knew that people who lived in this building, their socio-economical status was not very high, and maybe they wouldn't even think about what are they signing. So what happened that night? That night, I worked in a bar and received a phone call that all of us have to get out of our apartments. And the situation was quite unclear, but I think 2 hours later I received a phone call and they told me, okay, you have 10 minutes to get into your apartment. And after that, we do not know whether you can get in it at all. So I rushed. It was I think, around 2 o'clock in the night. I rushed back, and then I was allowed to get into my apartment with some police officers and to get some of my stuff, everything which I could carry, nothing more. And after that they closed down the building and they allowed me to go back in 3 times to get my stuff. Yeah, here I am with my suitcases out on the street and not allowed to go back inside my apartment. Lucky for us, the GWA St. Pauli got to know, didn't know about that, because there's also a Verein which is called Mieter helfen Mietern. And some of our inhabitants are also members of this Verein. And this Verein, this organization is helping people with all the laws around rental of apartments. So, however, as they saw they want to give us new contracts and to get rid of us, they called upon a meeting at the GWA St. Pauli and talked to us not to sign the contracts. So, this was the first time I got to know GWA St. Pauli. And then at that meeting, we also decided that we need to do something, that we need to get together, that we need to organize themselves to, so the investor does not get easily rid of us as they plan to. So this was the beginning of our relationship. We formed an initiative, Initiative, Esso Hause, made an initiative, and we met, I think, once a week and sometimes twice a week. And more people came together, not only people who lived in this house, but also people from the neighborhood came and they wanted to support us and to help us, and we made the process very, very public. So I think this was also one important key why we all got like replacement apartments, and now the government or the state decided to develop this area. I think it's because we made it public. We also went to the media, we talked to them, said like, here, hey, come on, here are things going on which are not correct. Here the possibility is quite high that people just like lose their apartments without a replacement and so on. And because this place is quite public, because it's at the Reeperbahn, it's also lucky for us, we managed to be successful. I know of another case which is in Dortmund, for example. There the same thing happened as here, but no one actually cared because they didn't have the same publicity as we did. Here you can in general see the process of the development process of this place. It's called Planbude, and Planbude is now organizing the development process for this place. So they invested a lot of time and energy to discuss with the investors and with the representative from Hamburg. How should this place look like, and who should live there, who should work here. So yeah, it's an amazing thing. And I think all this process wouldn't be possible without GWA St. Pauli. GWA St. Pauli first of all brought us who lived together in the building and didn't know each other together. And they also motivated us to stand up for our rights and to fight for our rights and for our home. I don't think that people would do it by themselves. And that's why GWA St. Pauli was like the platform where all of this started. And they also offered lots of advice and lots of, just like support to do everything, to organize demonstrations, to organize meetings with press, to organize other actions. So it was really helpful to have them. Close to here, I was lucky enough to get an apartment very, very close to here, which I appreciate much. And I think many of the former inhabitants got an apartment on Saint Pauli, but I also know one guy who didn't get an apartment on Saint Pauli, and he is really unhappy because of that, because he's now lives far away and he feels really lonely. And here at that place, I think you never felt like as lonely as when you live somewhere where it's less inhabited, because you have always sound and life and people around you. So yeah, my friend is also over there. Claudia is her name. Seldomly. I think I was once there for food and the other time for fleet market, but Colibri is also, and definitely for different kind of meetings. But I wouldn't say that I attend regularly Colibri. But I think Colibri is a really important place for St. Pauli. As far as I know, they help. Children can hang out there after school, and sometimes you get their food, and sometimes they organize concerts. So it's I think it's an important social place for St. Pauli.
How would you wish to change, or what kind of things you wish there were?
I'm not sure. I think it's good the way it is. I don't think I would change anything about it. And I think they have a great team and they do their job very, very good. I think in general, quite important to have such institution for the city, because they support and help people in many ways, and they do it in a great way, because in a very democratic great way, and that's why I think everyone should have a GWA St. Pauli. Yeah.